Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 4th edition of Baseball on the Island Weekly. I'm your host, Vinny Messana. I'm here with our reporter, Nakeem and our special guest tonight, Cody McPartland, pitcher from Dowling College. So we're going to start off tonight's evening with the biggest news from the weekend, and that's Dowling capturing the ECC championship this weekend over the University of Bridgeport by the score of 3-2. So Cody was the winning pitcher in the first game, and he also came in for the save in the clinching game as well. So, Cody, first of all, thanks for taking the time out of your week, and congratulations on winning the ECC.
Thank you.
No problem. So, got some questions here for you. A lot of things come to mind. You know, this weekend was pretty interesting to say the least. So, but backtracking before we get to the weekend, you guys got off to a little bit of a rough start this year. You know, you were 0-5. So, take me inside of the psyche of Dowling. You know, at that point, were you guys pretty deflated, or was there still a sense that, you know, it was a talented team and you guys were going to regain your mojo?
No, kind of like what you just said, you know, it was a talented team. Mm-hmm. Just got to sit back, you know, early in the season, you really don't think about much. Mm-hmm. Got a whole schedule ahead of you. So, I mean, just go out there, play your best baseball, and hopefully it's good enough.
Mm-hmm. Nakeem?
Now, your team plays in a pretty big ballpark for your home field. You know, you got a lot of real estate in the outfield. So, you know, just talk a bit about the advantage that, you know, you have as a pitcher and the rest of your pitching staff in terms of, you know, pitching at home compared to, you know, other stadiums in your conference.
Yeah, you know, I like our field. Our field's big all around. We got a deep center field. Lines really aren't too shallow compared to the other fields. I mean, some of the smaller fields in our conference, like Molloy's got an okay field. The lines are a little shorter. But like you're saying, pitching staff, it's great to pitch in that field. We got quick outfielders, you know, put the ball in the air, just get under it. I know they'll track it down. Like Chris Pell, every time the ball goes near him, no problem.
And
Timmy
he was tremendous this week.
Yeah, great catches all around him. Timmy, RJ, do a great job out there. They hold down the outfield.
Now, speaking to that point, was that one of the selling points kind of for you coming to Dowling as well with the nice home field?
Yeah, you know, it was a nice field. Loved the coaches there. Met all them previously. Mm-hmm. It was just a good fit for me.
Mm-hmm. Now, to change gears for a second here, you guys had a great catcher last year in Dan Parisi. Now he's one of the coaches on the staff. You guys were able to replace him, fortunately, with even more equally as talented catchers, should we say, not any more talented. But you have Michael Rizzatello. He had a tremendous year, came on strong offensively. Chris Russo, known for his tremendous defensive ability. So what's it like having catchers like that you really have confidence in, and you know, you've been fortunate enough for your whole career to have good catchers. So talk a little bit about that.
It's great to have a good catcher, you know, like pitcher, catcher, they control the whole game. They got to be on the same page all throughout. So, I mean, having those catchers around me, I know I don't care who goes back there. Russo, Riz, have confidence in both of them. Mm-hmm. Both stick the ball great, hit the ball, they block the ball, everything you need from them.
Everything that you ask for. You have good relationships off the field as well with these
the whole team, you know, it's just like one big family. We're all just a bunch of brothers, just going out there playing baseball.
Thank you.
Now, this past weekend was obviously, you know, terrific for not only yourself but your team. You know, so talk a little bit about, you know, how relieved you guys are. You know, the fact that you guys have, you know, accomplished, you know, claiming an ECC title
and all the work that you put in.
Absolutely, you know, and just beating Bridgeport in that final game, which turned out to be a classic.
Mm-hmm. You know, it was a great game. You know, the whole tournament was exciting. Every game was close. You know, one team goes down, and just can't fall. You got to be on top of it. Mm-hmm. Any team can come back, just like the Molloy Bridgeport game. It's close all the way to the end.
Was it nice to watch that game just as a fan and not be emotionally invested into it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, just all the work we put in this year just really showed off. From the beach runs, waking up at 6 in the morning, getting there at 7, running on the beach for 2 hours, or the circuits we do on the field. It just brings everyone closer.
And it makes it feel like it's all worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it.
Mm-hmm. Now, from a personal standpoint, you really turned it on in the second half of the season. So what do you think was the biggest difference for you?
I don't know. You know, I kind of started out a little slow. I really wasn't throwing my pitches as well as I am right now. Mm-hmm. Our offense was a little slow, you know, just all around a little lull in the season right there. But once we got to conference, really just turned it on. You know, I just said to myself, no one's beating me. I got to go out there with my best stuff. Mm-hmm. My team's going to hit for me, and we're going to win.
Now, interesting point there. You said with your best stuff. Did you feel like earlier in the year that you didn't have your best stuff, or?
Yeah, you know, I felt like a little bit mechanically I was a little off here and there, but some of my pitches I feel like I wasn't finishing. Mm-hmm. Just like little stuff, you know, just coming into the season, just started off slow, and then I just got into a rhythm and just stepped with it.
Mm-hmm. And at the right time, too. So.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And moving forward, we all know that, regionals is going to be a pretty big test for not only yourself but your team as well. So, what do you think will be the keys to, beating these teams, which that the teams that are left now, which are, the pretty elite teams in all of this nation?
Yeah. Well, we played every team there besides SNU. We got SNU first game, so really don't know what to expect. But it's just another baseball game. You just got to go out there and play your game. You're not going to win if you don't play.
What would you, expect out of yourself personally as you, go on the mound? Myself
going out there, hold myself to a high potential every game. Just go out there, just got to keep my team in it, give me some runs, and hopefully it's good enough.
Would you rather see a team for the first time at this stage of the year, whereas like if you were facing Malloy, let's say for the third time, would you feel like the hitters have the advantage?
I mean, it really doesn't matter. I mean, they got to go out there, they got to know what I'm throwing, know what to hit. So I mean, it's kind of hard on both ends.
Now, from a personal standpoint, again, the draft is less than a month away. How much does that cross your mind, and how do you kind of block that out of the forefront of your memory?
To be honest, I really don't think about it much. Like if I could play a card here or there, whatever, people contact me. Just don't think about it. Just go out there, just play baseball with my friends, go out there, have a good time, just worry about Dowling, just get my stuff done.
Just simplify it, right?
Exactly.
Well, Cody, thanks again for your time, and best of luck this week. I know you guys, have a big challenge ahead of you, but from what I saw this week, you guys are up to the task. So good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck moving forward.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break for a message from our sponsors. But when we come back, we're going to talk about our next storyline.
Baseball on the Island is sponsored by Bats for Buddies. Please donate your new or lightly used baseball equipment to Bats for Buddies at the Battle of the Border event on June 5th at Dowling. The donations will be given to less fortunate athletes in the Dominican Republic.
Welcome back, everybody, to Baseball on the Island Weekly. Now, our next storyline is Suffolk defeating Nassau yesterday in the Region 15 championship over at Farmingdale State College. Now, Nakeem was at the game. It was a classic. Now, the teams have met several times this year. Suffolk had basically won handedly 4 out of the 5 times, and yesterday was not the case. So, Nakeem, what did you see yesterday out of Suffolk and Nassau?
Well, basically, Suffolk being one of the top teams in their conference, 22-1 in their conference, which is absolutely outstanding. They were batting .365 going into that game as a team, and so you expected to see a slugfest as they've shown all season. But
they've actually just mercied teams more often than they've played 9 innings, which has been pretty remarkable for me. I mean, Nicholas Von Olin hitting .500 for the year, 44 for 88, 7 home runs, 33 RBIs. Angel Rodriguez, Joseph Deland, the list goes on. So I mean, like you said, you expected. Not to be unfair to Nassau, but nobody's been able to play with them this year. So you went in expecting a little.
I expected them to to jump all over the pitcher, but Connor here for Nassau, he's a sort of a throwback lefty. He has a lot of off-speed stuff. He doesn't have an overpowering fastball, and I think early in the game you saw a lot of Suffolk hitters, jumping out in front, not really staying disciplined and staying back and letting the ball travel. And that's why they weren't able to, have much success against them.
Maybe they were used to seeing a higher velocity over the past few games.
Absolutely. And so, he was able to utilize that, and that's why, he pitched, deep into the game as he did. And, towards the end, I guess he ran out of steam because that's when he, gave up the 2 hits on the ball.
Can just interject for a moment now. They did get off to a 2-0 lead in the first 2 innings of the 3rd inning. So, did it appear at that moment that Suffolk might actually open up the game?
In my eyes, I wouldn't say so. I mean, that was more so just a result of good situational hitting. During those first 2 runs, they were both on sac flies, and so they were able to get guys on. Guys were able to get in scoring position, and they were able to get the runner in with the sacrifice fly.
And it was DeLand and Eli Benson.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. And so they both did their job as they've done all season. But after that, they really couldn't string together any big innings until the 9th.
So now talk about that 9th inning. Of course, Nassau appeared that they were going to win the game. If they did win, they were going to play a elimination do-or-die game, and the winner advanced into the College World Series. So Well, first, what was it like? Was there a lot of atmosphere? What was the atmosphere like? Was there a lot of intensity?
Yeah, I would say there was a lot of intensity. You know, the game seemed to be in the balance, and a lot of momentum was on Nassau's side, especially going into the ninth inning. But you know, something just sparked those kids on Suffolk going into the ninth. You know, talking with their head coach Eric Brown after the game, you know, he said that they just took a simple approach in the ninth inning. You know, they simplified things a lot. You know, he basically said that they went up there with just the mentality of handing the bat to the next batter, and so they went up there and it was just simple at bats, single to the outfield, a bunt hit, walk, and they were a lot more patient going into the ninth inning, and I think being able to bring themselves down and keep themselves more composed compared to earlier in the game, that allowed them to have that success in the ninth and ultimately score 3 runs and have a great comeback win for them.
And honestly, for them, they probably haven't had too many comeback wins because they're never in that situation.
Right.
So it's really a testament to the coaching staff. I believe that they kept their heads on straight because
Absolutely.
they easily could have said, well, let's get them next game, right? But that's not what they did.
Right, and I mean, I think their coach, exemplifies, what the team is all about. He's a very, laid-back guy. He doesn't get too excited. He doesn't get too down on himself or down on his team. And, that's one of the main reasons why I feel like he won the Coach of the Year award as well. And so, it was impressive to see how well they were able to keep themselves composed, despite being down by 2 against a pitcher that, had their number for most of the game.
And now Nassau had won it last year, so obviously Suffolk was able to take the crown for them. And on a side note, so one of their pitchers was actually named the Regional Pitcher of the Year, Christopher Kalaki. He had a tremendous year. He went 8-0, 0.99 ERA, threw 45.1 innings and struck out 67 guys. So they've gotten the attention now. They've gotten accolades, and now they have the hardware as a team. So credit to them, obviously.
Absolutely.
And obviously they were fired up, I'm assuming, right? What was the scene like?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. There was a huge celebration. Coach Eric Brown got the Gatorade bath after the game, and it was just a great scene to see. The parents and family members and friends just cheering and celebrating. It was a great atmosphere. The fact that they were able to, not only claim the title but also claim the hardware as well. It was pretty impressive to see that they, were able to bring it all together and put a real good cap on this season for them.
And now, next up for them is the College World Series, of course. So they're going to have a chance to go where no team from this region has gone before, and that's winning the title. The closest was Nassau in 2013. They actually won 1 game in the College World Series, which is more than anybody had done to that point. So, and that team was talented as it gets, with Tim Ingram in the pitching staff, Alex Brosnan, and Luke Noon. Brosnan, of course, was the Region Pitcher of the Year that year. He went undefeated. So Suffolk has some work ahead, but from what we've seen, I've seen them early in the year, and Nakeem saw them now, and they haven't missed a beat. They are as high octane of an offense as I've ever seen, as 369 batting average, as he mentioned. So our next storyline is the Skyline Conference. I was there on Tuesday. St. Joseph's won in the championship over Farmingdale, who hosted the tournament. It was an unbelievable game from start to finish. In the first inning, Dalton McCarthy, who hasn't played in 5 weeks with a serious hamstring injury, steps up to the plate, batting 7th in the order. He previously was a cleanup hitter in every game that he had hit this season. And Keith Osick played his cards right, puts his DH in the 7th spot, and he hits a grand slam. And at that point, it really seemed like Farmingdale was going to force a do-or-die game. And from my perspective in the press box, I started to wonder whether or not they were going to, St. Joseph's was going to line up their pitching staff for the next game and start using guys just to get the outs. But that obviously was not the case. They fought back. St. Joseph's mounted a furious rally. Nick Girardi was named the MVP. He ended up going 5 for 5 in the game. He had 2 doubles, 2 triples, and almost hit a walk-off home run in extra innings. So it was just a phenomenal game. St. Joseph's won for the Skyline Conference for the first time in 7 seasons, and since 2004, after Farmingdale State College had won 7 consecutive seasons, rather. So it was definitely nice to see a team that hadn't won in a while, the jubilation that comes along with that. As you mentioned, the Gatorade shower that Eric Brown got. Coach Richard Garrett got the same as well from his captain. So it was a tremendous tournament. St. Joseph's won all 4 games. That's why they're number 1 in our latest power rankings. They only have 11 losses on the season to go along with 24 victories. they'll be in the regionals as well this week. They're going to be up in Pennsylvania, and they kick that off on Wednesday. So they have a great challenge in front of them. They hope to make it to the Division III College World Series, which is held in Appleton, Wisconsin. So that's going to conclude this week of Baseball on the Island Weekly. This is our 4th edition. I want to thank Nakeem for being down here. Nakeem,
Thank you for having me once again.
not a problem. And we could find this on YouTube and on baseballonisland.com. And of course, you could follow us on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter, Baseball Long Island. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll be here next weekend. Enjoy your night, everybody.